first sound is a child's giggle drifting through the empty hallway. Light, playful, horribly out of place in a school locked hours ago. Miss Olivia Carter freezes, chalk in hand, staring at the dusty blackboard. Another giggle, closer this time. She turns, scanning the dark corridor. Nothing moves. The building sleeps. Then the chalk in her hand turns ice cold. It lifts from her fingers, slowly, gently, as if pinched by invisible hands. Her throat tightens as it drifts to the board and begins writing on its own, the letters uneven, childlike. A name she recognizes, one of her students, and beneath it, a date that hasn't come yet. Olivia, 29, wasn't afraid of schools after dark. She often stayed late, grading papers while the old radiators hissed and janitors pushed brooms across the empty halls. The quiet helped her think, but the West Wing was different. It hadn't been updated in decades, and each room felt like it remembered children who no longer came here. Still, she'd never heard anything truly strange until last Wednesday. She was passing room 2B when she heard faint chalk tapping. Tap, drag, tap. The room was empty when she looked inside. No chalk, no writing, no footprints left in the thick layer of dust. She blamed old pipes and flickering bulbs. Anything but the truth. But tonight, the scratching returned. Faster, insistent. Something drew her back to room 2B. Dust coated the blackboard except for a small, child-sized smear wiped clean. That's when the chalk lifted and wrote the first name, Lucas M., January 14. Her whisper shook. Lucas, why him? The chalk snapped sharply. The remaining piece trembled, then scratched out a single word beneath the date. Bus. The next morning, Lucas didn't come to school. The office received a call about a minor bus accident. Lucas, thrown forward during the impact, was hospitalized briefly. Same name, same date, same impossible warning. Olivia barely slept. The next evening, something pulled her back again. Fear mixed with a terrible responsibility. The chalk waited angled on the tray. When she stepped in, the lights flickered awake. Tap, drag, Emily R. February 2. A quiet, sweet 7th grader. One more date in the future. What happens to her? Olivia whispered. The chalk hesitated, then wrote, pool. Emily was on the swim team. Olivia backed away as the board erased itself in frantic sweeps. Dust swirled, rising into the air like breath. Then the chalk carved new letters violently. Your turn. Her stomach dropped. No, a new date formed. February 9. And beneath it, stairs. She fled the room, locking the door behind her, promising she'd never return. She avoided the stairwells completely, choosing the elevator for everything. But the school didn't care about her terror. Conferences ran late. Duties piled up. On February 9th, she stayed until nearly 8. The hallway lights dimmed, then flickered. A child's giggle echoed through the empty building. Olivia backed toward the elevator, clutching her stack of papers. Her breath fogged in the unnaturally cold air. She pressed the elevator button repeatedly. The classroom door behind her swung open with a violent slam. Something shoved her shoulder hard. She stumbled, twisting, falling helplessly down the stairwell. Her scream vanished into the concrete throat of the building. By morning, janitors found her unconscious but alive. Her palms were smeared with chalk dust. After her fall, teachers whispered, students whispered. Even the custodian refused to enter the West Wing alone. People reported hearing tapping after dark, faint writing noises, and giggles drifting through the vents. Some blamed a former student, a boy who vanished decades ago. His last recorded presence in room 2B. His disappearance was ruled a runaway case, but rumors said he loved writing names on the chalkboard, listing every friend he expected to see tomorrow. Others believed the warnings came from something older, something that understood futures the living weren't meant to know, something that liked writing them down. Olivia survived, but she never returned to her classroom. She couldn't pass a chalkboard without trembling. She couldn't hear laughter in the hall without flinching. And sometimes late at night, she swears she still hears chalk tapping somewhere in the dark. If the board writes the future, who decides whose name appears next?